back again. I'm Laura Torres with Careers. This is our Wednesday Spotlight. Today I'm testing and sharing with you at the same time a great resource that previously was one of our top segments back when Google launched some of the key Power Up job search tools. This is a really cool tool, and actually, especially right now, I want to take the opportunity to share with you how to power up your job search using these particular tools. It is one of my favorite webinars. It's one of my favorite sort of presentations because it really empowers you to really identify the best ways to stay connected to your job search, stay organized, and maximize your connections, the opportunities that are around you to really be successful. But first, let me make sure that I'm actually streaming. So I'm going to test. There we go. It's a better sound than what I had going on earlier today. So I apologize if you logged in earlier and could not hear me. My video was breaking down. So, but yeah, if you are here, obviously this is actually live. So I would like to remind you to please share with me, where are you watching from? Post your questions as I go along with this presentation and tell me. I would love to be able to send you a shout out towards the end. So please tell me where you are watching. And yeah, we'll get started in just a second. So thank you so much for watching the stream. We are live. And also, please tag and share it with someone who will benefit from their job search by utilizing these resources. All right. Thank you. Well, hello. Once again, thank you so much. I am Laura Torres with Careers, and I'm here to share a very special resource spotlight today on Wednesday. And every Wednesday, we tend to bring in you a couple of tools, resources, or upskilling opportunities for you to navigate and grab whatever is more applicable to you in your current job search situation. So today we are going to go back in our memory land to utilize and reintroduce to some of you our really cool presentation that is called Power Up Your Job Search Using Google Tools. This job search presentation, it's a really cool one because it allows you to really utilize what's and stay organized so that you can actually navigate, document, and analyze where you're spending the most time of your search. But first, let me remind you that some of these cool webinars and useful resources will be available in our Blue Star neighborhood. We're going to start uploading some of those resources up and about so that you can review them at your convenience. So I want to remind you to please go to our neighborhood. When you are in our website, there is a section that says Welcome to the Neighborhood. When you go there, you want to definitely select the Blue Star Careers. And when you are in the Blue Star Careers page, that's where you'll want to get into our main page and then go either to our discussion or to our library and review some of the resources that have been posted there. So that's where you need to definitely will find this particular webinar will be stored. In others, there will also be some resources in Espanol. So be on the lookout. On Friday, we're going to upload some resources in Espanol for our community members to be able to utilize those and review them at their convenience. So we have an abundance now list of resources that we have been added for your convenience, and just looking forward to sharing more with you. So that's what's going on over there. Now I am going to start with our Power Up Your Job Search tools. But first, I would like to ask you, post it in the comments, please. And I'll go back if for some reason I don't see these comments now. I'll go back and I'll answer and respond to your comments. But tell me, how are you utilizing job searching? What is the most effective tool so far that is working or is giving you a little bit of feedback? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you using the job search portals directly? Any specific job boards? Is all the resources or the job postings that we're sharing here with you at Spouse Force useful for you? I would love to be able to share with you and review to make sure that all the resources that we're sharing are actually helping and getting you somewhere. So if so, please put it in the comments and let us know what are some of those resources that are helping you navigate. And it might help some other spouse who is looking for jobs to be able to understand where are some of those other communities or websites that will be able to help you land a job. And if you recently landed a job, also post it in the comments. We'd love to be able to go and celebrate with you and be able to share with others who perhaps will be the point of contact so that we can all network with a purpose. So, okay, without further ado, let me go to my presentation and share with you how you will be powering up your job search tools. And I am going to here take my screen. I would like to be able to also just be able to ask you, again, this is one of the presentations that was introduced a while back. It's been out in the market a little bit. This is targeted for military community. Now, it is one of my most favorite presentations because it really, really helps you organize and it leads to a very successful way for you as a job seeker, those that are actively looking, to be able to track back your efforts. And I'll tell you some good stories along the way and why it's important to stay organized and be able to track how your efforts are really paying off. The job search market right now is very tight. It's extremely competitive, especially with the massive layoffs of some of those very strong technology firms. Companies at large are laying off a lot of the mid-level and mid-level professionals with 10 years and plus of experience, which could be actually our competitors when it comes to job searching. So this particular presentation, I'm hoping it will lead you to much more successful results, and it will help you also once again, and I cannot underline this strongly, to stay organized. So with this presentation, of course, my goal is for you to be able to track your job search using Google Sheets, to make sure that you find opportunities using job search. And I'll tell you really how that works. Back in my time as a career manager here, working one-on-one a lot more intensely with military spouses, this is how I would find sometimes really key jobs with my connectors, and be able to utilize that for job searching with the community that I was supporting a little bit more heavily. And then, of course, we'll show you really quickly how to create a resume using Google Docs if you haven't had one, and then how to set up yourself for success by interviewing strongly and creating some practice format set up through Google Meets. And then I'll share more additional resources with you. So let's track the job search. And if you see me going down and looking a little bit below, it's because I'm looking at my screen to make sure that everything is forming correctly. This is live, so I do welcome your comments and your questions so that we can continue to really support you in the best way. Let us know. And then while I do that, like I said, we're going to track your job search using Google Sheets. So first of all and foremost, in order for you to track your job search and do Google Sheets, you need to go and sign in to your Google account. Do you have a Google account? This is how you'll be able to utilize this particular resource. So sign in to your Google accounts. If you don't have one, then create one. It's very simple. You just have to log in and create your Google account. Once you're in there, of course, you're going to go to the apps and select from the apps, go through the Google Drive, and then from the Google Drive, you're going to create a new. From creating a new, you actually creating a new Google Sheet. A Google Sheet is basically the version of an Excel spreadsheet, but is using it through Google internally so that you can actually have it saved up in the Google storage space. And so you're going to select a blank Google Sheet. Once you create or you launch a Google Sheet, which is a basic one, you're going to just make sure that you are creating it according to the rows and the columns that you think you're going to be utilizing. Now, for this particular exercise, you're going to need about 7 columns that you will be utilizing, and because you're going to design them and name them to organize all of your job search. So you definitely want to name, of course, your Google Sheet accordingly. You're going to organize it. And the way you're going to organize it, you're going to format it is is you're going to detail, and let me go back a little bit more of one spreadsheet. You're going to create different columns, and columns this way, of course, right, horizontally, and that is to name them where you all the list all the different jobs that you are applying, the job title, the companies. You want to make sure that you're listing the companies where those particular jobs are listed or are being showcased from. Any salary or any details that will give you more so that you can track and understand a little, prepare better if you are called for that particular role, as well as you definitely want to also select the website where you found that job, the link to the full job description. It's very, uncommon, very common sometimes to find a job in one website and then you go to the main website and it's no longer there. So you want to make sure that you are tracking really where you are. And then another extra column that is also suggested is notes, so that you can add notes pertaining that particular role that will allow you to also track and give you feedback so that you stay organized if you're given a chance to move forward for an interview or a phone call. Now, me particularly, I would add two extra rows. They're not in this particular presentation, but I would probably suggest that you add two additional rows. One of them will be my network connection. Okay, who am I connected that works at this company? And then the third one will be a link where you will add a connection, a link to your resume, so that and I tell you in a little bit also why you want to make sure that you're tracking the right resume so that you have a copy of it. Again, if you are being asked to do a phone interview or a regular interview and you need to go back to see what you submitted, you want to make sure that you have a copy of your resume, the summary or whatever details you did or you shared on that particular tailor job search, job opportunity, because you want to make sure you're tracking everything accordingly so that it's organized and that you are relating your experience to the job, right job. So this is essentially what your format Google Sheet will look like. Different columns detailing the different jobs that you have applied, whether or not you actually applied, you're considering, any interview status. Again, details to keep you organized. That's what is important right here, is that you stay organized so that you are maximizing and also evaluating where you're putting all most of your efforts. Now, the reason why I love to be able to, and I'll go back to this page particularly, the reason why I like to be able to do a column of my network and the link to my resume is because I often sometimes I used to and it's very common. It's totally okay. Life goes really fast, and when you are applying, sometimes you apply to so many jobs, it is very easily to get sidetracked and not share the right resume. Or if you are called for an interview or a phone call and they are giving you, just a very short time to prepare, you want to be able to go back. And if you have a column where you have a link to your resume, so let's say you can upload into the Google Docs a copy of your resume just to have it there and with the link, or even in the Google Sheet, so that you can go back and say how you tailor that particular summary so that you can actually relate back. I remember once I submitted a resume to the wrong job, and to the wrong company. When they asked me, and one of my connections asked me to please send forward back the resume because they were going to interview him, I went and I couldn't find it, and I just grabbed the one I thought it was the one that I had updated for that particular role, and I submitted it, and it was the very wrong one. I submitted one for an admin support, I believe, and the one I was applying was for outreach. So completely very disorganized on my end. That's why it's important that this particular format and this tracker helps you elevate a little bit better way for you to arrange and organize your work. All right, so how are you going to find your job opportunities? And this is my most favorite one, and I will share you literally live. I'm going to go and show you this exercise, and it's going to be super cool. It actually works. It works really good. You're going to go into the Google and you're going to search jobs near me. You can also search by title. in the location where you're located. Now, when you are there, you can also use the filters to actually filter out jobs that have been posted in the past 3 days that are full-time, part-time, work from home, whatever filters you want to do. Now, I recommend that you filter them by the most recent ones within 3 days. Again, the way the market is right now, jobs that have been uploaded in actually Google itself, they don't necessarily have the job board. Obviously, they're not promoting a specific company. Is the search engine that is bringing together the jobs and the notifications of the various companies and all the keywords based on SEO and all the different components of the algorithm. That's how they get notified, and these jobs come here near you when you do a search. So you want to make sure that you're searching and you're reviewing jobs that are recent, not jobs that have been over 30 days, because those will actually pop up based on the job title or the industry that you are selecting. So if you are looking for jobs in retail, for instance, in San Francisco, you can explore by the categories. You can also explore by different opportunities. And again, you want to make sure that you are using the filters to actually look for the ones that pertain to you. If you don't have a college degree yet, or you don't fulfill some of those bachelor requirements, you can also search jobs with those specific filters. So review those accordingly and make sure you set them up in your system. If you have jobs in your specific community, you have also jobs in different titles that don't necessarily appear. You can do jobs, with the pay well, with the specific categories, and you can search by different titles as well. Like I said, use the filter so that you can actually find the right opportunities. So some of the things that Google allows you to do is to search, options to apply, job type, company, title, and all of those different things. The filters are very useful, like I said, to give you a better idea of industries, jobs that are available, have been recently posted, and then be able for you to be able to set them up so that they come to you. If you're working, if you're looking for work from home, then you search for jobs that have the title or the keywords work from home, remote work, or hybrid, which are the ones that are a little bit more conditioned to 2 to 3 days in the office, 2 to 3 days in person. Now, there's also, again, the category of no degree. If you have still yet completing your schooling or don't have one, those jobs will also pop up in the filters. So make sure that you're utilizing those accordingly. And if you are a veteran or you served before, you can also search for jobs that have been the title or the keywords have been added into the job description, veteran jobs near you, and it will be according to the nearest location. Those will actually be also listed in there. And so jobs also with the MOS code can also be added, but we're not going to go into that more details because this particular webinar is intended for military spouses. Now, jobs that if you are searching and it's a job that you are actually interested, you can actually click save and it will save in your history so that you can go back and apply and be able to maybe add it in your tracker sheet. That's why this particular tracker sheet is extremely important. The one that we discussed 5 minutes ago, it's important for you to keep that organized because if you save jobs right here through the job search tool, then you're able to go back and add them in there for you to apply later. You can also set up job alerts. So at the bottom of the system, it does have an alert button that you can turn on. Those alerts would actually come into your inbox almost immediately. You have the option to select how often you want those job alerts to come into your inbox. I personally have them once a day. So every time a company or a specific job that meets your guidelines based on the filters and the modifications that you've done, those specific job alerts will come directly to your inbox. So there's a lot of terms, there's a lot of different things that you can search, special words like no degree, veteran, near me, things that will trigger the Google search features for these jobs to come directly to you. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing and you're turning on all the filters according to what is actually the best best equipped tool for you. And then you're saving the jobs. And not only that, but you also send out the notifications. And when you have time, at the end of the day or whatever you dedicate your 2 hours actively seeking for work, we recommend at least 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, and setting up aside so that you organize your application process accordingly. Then you go back and you add them into your tracking sheet. You check the status, you review the job applications to make sure that everything has been submitted accordingly, you complied, you check those specific jobs, and you track all of these accordingly in your sheet. So I'm going to stop here right now real quick and see if anyone has any questions. I'm going to go back to how to create a resume. But first, I want to show you how you actually get notifications from the Google and the job search. So I'm actually going to share my screen real quick here for you guys. And again, this is live. I am actually live with you guys. So if you have any specific questions, please tell me. Put it on here. Put them in the comments, and I'll share them with you. And so all of you should be able to see my screen, right? Yes. So you should be able to see my screen. I am looking at it. So let's say I'm looking for jobs, project management. In Tampa, Florida. Okay. So this is what my particular Google search will tell me. These are the jobs that are listed, and so you want to go click on their job, and that is actually the um, I would call it a dashboard. It projects, and so with these, you actually get the opportunity to review the different jobs that are being showcased. Again, you are using the filters. You see right here, this section is where you want to make sure that you're using the filters based on title. You can do the different categories. You can do even categories, project managers by different industries. So for instance, if you are into business, or you are in communications, and or you are like manufacturing and warehousing, and so you want to make sure that you are looking for project managers for those specific industries. Now, each company, of course, or this particular dashboard, which is it's just on Google, you just have to scroll down a little bit below. It will tell you if any project management, and then how you can apply it. So when you apply for some of these jobs, you want to make sure that you are betting that these are actually legit companies. And so never click on anything that does not look according. So for instance, this one is from Citi. It tells me applied. It's giving me the link to Citibank. That's good. Indeed, I will not apply through. I'll probably just go straight to Citi. A particular job, for instance, like this one now, is asking me to go on LinkedIn. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is my secret tip for you if you are using this particular format to do a job search. If I go on LinkedIn and I'm going to go and review this job, project management, Bay-to-Bay properties. So it is, and there's only 3 applicants right here according to LinkedIn. It was just posted 2 hours ago. Now this one on LinkedIn, it will give me more details. See right here? It tells me, oh, I'm not, okay, you can see that. Give me 1 second. I'm going back and sharing my screen of how it appears on LinkedIn. This is actually live right now, sharing with you according. So this is what how this particular job opened up. It showed me on LinkedIn. Okay, team. So it is the project management on Bay-to-Bay properties. It is actually listed on the Google search. So this job here, it's letting me know that it was just posted 2 hours ago. It has 3 applicants. And then from there, it actually has an easy apply. So what that means is you can actually go there very quickly. As long as your LinkedIn profile is completely up to date, you have an engaging profile, I suggest you do that because it is going to capture and make the application so much easier. Another beautiful thing of this particular feature, which is not part of the Google presentation, my specific sort of add-on topics to this particular presentation as I learned it along the way, is you can actually see who is the senior recruiter. Now, if you decide to apply for this role, if you're in the Tampa Bay area and this particular role meets your requirements, your specific needs, then I suggest you apply. Follow easy applied, which is it's even better because it's a short application. As long as you have a most resume, you can apply there, and then you can send Kate a message, right, and let her know you have applied for that role and you are actually looking forward to getting some feedback. You can send her your resume. You can network, or you can just simply send her a message. Hello, Ms. Rogers. This is Laura Torres. I recently submitted my application for a manager role over in Bay to Bay Properties. I look forward to your feedback. Please let me know if you have additional questions. Is there anything I can do for you? So that's what I would do for this particular role if I was doing a specific job search, utilizing the Grow with Google tools and making sure that I am actually utilizing my network for that. So does that make sense? I hope that it does. Let me know what questions do you have about that. Is that something you will do? Would you be bold in just straightforward connect with the recruiter on LinkedIn, or would you need additional resources? Now, one of the things that I can also do for this particular tool that is not part of the Google, of course, that I've added along the way is, if you recall in the early presentation, developing your Google Sheet, I asked to add an extra column of who is connected with you or who's connected to that particular role. So for instance, if I'm on LinkedIn, then I can go directly and see on who is connected to that recruiter within my second and third degree connection on LinkedIn. And definitely I can answer some of those questions better on later on, as far as like what does that mean when it comes to being a second and third degree connected. That's another LinkedIn webinar session that we can certainly go over it. But for the sake of this particular one, job searching tools, this is what I'm going to share with you. Okay, so here we're back into the job search, the dashboard that Google gives you. Now, here's the word you select, job alerts, and the job alerts will come directly to the inbox that you have on file, depending on where you are logged in. So I'm logged into through my personal email address. So those job opportunities will come directly to my it will come directly to my job, to my work. To my personal email, and so it will be alerted. Let me just make sure to see if I can show you what those look like. Remember, we are live, and so when we do this, you are actually going to get those specific. Okay, I cannot do that unless I log out. But for the sake, you will get those alerts almost immediately through your email address. And let me go here real quick and show you what those look like. So when you do set them up, this is what they will look like. I'm going to share now my other screen just to make sure that you are actually looking at those. And just so that you see, this is what your inbox will actually bring in and bring you when you set up your job alerts. See, those will come into your inbox, and it come in daily, you come in weekly. They'll come in as often as you decide to set them up, based on their industry, based on the titles that you select. And so those will come in live on a regular basis to your inbox. So be sure that you are setting up the right, proper notifications that you need, so that these come in weekly, daily, and then it keeps you alerted. But not only that, it allows you to be an early applicant and beat the traffic. If you have already worked out on your resume, if you have already done what you need to do to be prepared so that you are an early applicant, then it should be a really, really easy process. Okay, so let's say you don't have a resume. So now with that, it's a great segue for us to move on to the next topic. So if you don't have a resume yet, or you're still considering updating your resume, so Google allows you to create a resume. And again, you're going to go to the Google Drive since you're already logged in under your Google Sheet, tracking your different jobs opportunities. You're going to go to the Google Drive and you're going to select a new and then a new Google document. From there, you're going to go to template. When you are in the template format section, you get to select a different resume, and you can select the different opportunities. And let me make sure that I didn't skip. Yeah. So you select the template, and then from there you have the option to select the various templates. Now, this particular one is the most common one. The Google or most job seekers within the Google community tend to update. And then you start updating it as needed. So you definitely add your text. You want to name this particular job. Now, every time you apply for a specific role, I always encourage you to name it for that particular company or just shorten it. Make sure that you are keep giving it either the date, the company name, the title of the company. Obviously, you're not going to make it a super, super long title, but you definitely want to keep your last name on it or your full name if it's short, the title of the job that you apply for, and maybe perhaps a date. Like for instance, if I was applying for a job today, I would probably put myself, Torres dot project management dot 2/15/23, and that will be my title for my resume, so that it will keep me organized. If I could also add the acronym or perhaps the name of the company, or just shorten it a little bit, it would also help out a lot too. Because if I'm applying to multiple project management roles, then that might project naming and project management may not be quite easy if I'm submitting multiple resumes to the same job title. So from once you start formatting your resume, you definitely want to make sure that you add your text, you select the different formats that you want. Obviously, the best format is always Arial 10, Arial 11. That's the best font that it's suggested, because you want to make sure that it's readable and it's not super tiny, but it's not super long. You want to format your resume accordingly by, you know, making sure you're adding everything that you need and you populate all the different things that are required. And then you want to make sure that you also make a copy just in case. You never know what could happen to your system. So you always want to have a copy just in case. But also it allows you to have a blank, another copy of your main research so that you can work on it. Now, once you have created a resume that is, it's actually sort of a decent, you can share it by sharing a link to it with someone that you're working with. Like for instance, I get sometimes Google links for resumes to work on into review. However, this is not the format you definitely want to submit to an application or to a recruiter, even if it is via email. Once it's the final product, you want to make sure that you are downloading it into a PDF or a Word document and you're submitting it as such. You never want to submit the Google link or the sheet because that's just not very proper for submission. But definitely want to keep that Google Sheet link, and you want to add it into your tracker so that you can keep the right resume for the right application and you're tracking everything organized accordingly. So, okay, just to summarize about your resume, to make sure that you are making sure that you are following all the proper steps. And then if you are going to share your resume via email, it actually allows you to be able to just through Gmail, you can actually just very quickly draft a Gmail, set up a message. You can actually set up canned response, quick email where you can actually just attach it, or have just a general message that you have already preset and you saved in your drafts, and you attach your resume and you send it. You make sure you're proofreading everything and you send it so that you can apply it, you share it, and you proper follow it accordingly. Now, this is what I was talking about, you having your resume links. If you have a copy of the resume that you submitted and it's all in your Google Sheets, then you are tracking it under your job search tracker, the one that we created at the very beginning of this particular webinar. That's where you will want to make sure that you are tracking so that when you have the job, you have the company, you have all the additional details and notes regarding that job. You also have a copy of the resume that you submitted. So it's easier for you to track everything that you're doing for that particular role, that particular application. All right. So you started your tracking. Now you know how you're going to track all your work. You are setting up job search alert so that you get notified how to be, how to be an early applicant. You have your resumes, you have copies of different ones, and you're tracking all of those where you have applied. So now let's prepare for an interview. If you are going to be interviewing, an easy way or an easy place where you can actually prepare that is it's very doable and it's free of cost, of course, is through Google Meets. So when you use Google Meets, it's also a conference system that is allowed here through Google that allows you to actually take camera and be able to practice or actually have an interview with that format. Although most companies now they have their own system. Some of them might have via Zoom, others will have through Teams, and but the Google Meet is actually a really good tool that you can actually practice with someone within your network, maybe your colleague, your former coworker, or someone in your family that can help you do that. But it also can help you also set up to make sure that you are setting yourself up to success for a good interview by setting up a practice interview. So you make sure that you go on and through Google Meets and you look towards the camera. You speak slowly and clearly to make sure that everything is working accordingly, and you test for sound, you test for aligning, and you make sure that your background it's free of distractions. Like for instance, my background will not work for interview because it is very busy. It has a lot of objects and graphics in the back. So if I was actually interviewing, I would want to make sure that I have a green screen or completely blocked clear background to make sure that it's full of not just distractive. And then you're dressing properly from the head, from the waist up, or maybe the entire thing. Because I think if you set up yourself for success and you dress professionally for that particular interview, you're going to have a different mindset. And then you definitely practice. You practice on the Google Meet with someone. Google some questions that will be the most common ones for a specific interview. And then when you're doing that, you give that a colleague of yours, your friend, your part of your network, and then you Google those specific questions, and then you practice and you set up yourself a mock interview. So just to recap, this is, just to let you know that these particular Google Sheets all can be found under the Google Tools. This Google Tools search allows you to do job alerts and set up different specific industry related jobs that will allow you to actually get notified almost immediately when some of these jobs are posted. And then by using Google Docs, you are actually creating different formats of resume that will meet your specific applications. And then the Google Meet is for you to actually practice your mock interviewing and use that particular tool to help you set up for success by setting up your lighting, making sure that you are good looking good on camera, and you practice ahead of time how that video interview might go for you. So make sure that your next steps now is, I would love to hear these comments. Come back and please post these. So create a job search tracker under the Google Sheets. Make sure you're using the Google Job Search to set up the alerts and vet companies. Again, if you see any company that it doesn't quite seem legit, open up a second window, a second tab on your computer, and go on LinkedIn and search the name of the company first before you click on any links. Again, these jobs or job alerts are not defined or are not set up by Google. Google is the engine and they just bring everything together. So you have to do on your end your due diligence to make sure that these companies are actually legit. In the way one way that I do that is by going directly to another LinkedIn, through another tab to LinkedIn, and to verify the company or to go straight and search for their company name. Resume template, you can find these under the Google Docs to make sure that they meet your industry, your experience, your different styles. Now, one particular format that doesn't quite work and is not very recommended is the format that actually allows you to put your picture. If you are setting up your picture on your Google on your resume in general, it is not best practice. You always want to have a clear, clean format, simple Arial um, pitch with the font up to 10, 11. That is good readable font and a good size. And also just clear and clean. Nothing very graphic and very colorful. Just clear format. It's always best. And then you practice your interviews using the Google Meet to make sure that you are, setting up yourself for success and you feel confident in camera. And then, of course, consider other Google tools just to make sure that you grow your career. So right now, I'm about to share resources. Remember, I would like to encourage you to go back to our Blue Star neighborhood. We'll have additional resources for you, setting up job opportunities. All of our job options will be linked to that particular portal. So if you want to apply to some of those, be sure that you go out there and you connect and start exploring different things, as well as you share additional resources for other military spouses. So also, let's talk about Google Career Certificates. If you have considered, developing your skills in analytics, maybe some digital marketing, e-commerce, support, project management, let us know. We'll love to be able to connect you to some of these certifications that are self-paced, and you can actually have no experience is necessary. You actually get to learn it in your own pace, and then you could potentially stand out to more employers. Because again, right now the market is a little bit more competitive, and the more you can equip yourself with better tools, the better. Now, if you also can access more online tools for if you're a student, if you're a teacher, if you have a local business, if you are developing a specific products or you just want to know more, there's all kinds of tools that you can do when you go to grow.google veteran led, and you can find more resources. So I hope that you found this a little bit helpful. Again, I'm doing this just to make sure that you understand other alternatives to find Google tools and ways to find your job search, and and be able to do that. I don't see, see a couple of comments here from Darlene. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Darlene. You're watching from Virginia. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are able to find these tools and that you are additional. Yes, yes, additional search maybe depending on the position, Trina. That is very helpful. And yes, so these particular tools are intended for you to um, tailor it as you need for your specific industry. I personally, when I did a little more, my early title here through Blue Careers was career manager, which I was working a lot more one-on-one career coaching, career exploration. And when actually Google launched their job search tools in this particular format, they informed us that we can actually do that through Google. I used to set up job alerts for specific individuals that I was working with one-on-one, job search alerts for their communities in their specific zip codes. And I would use all those filters, and I will get every morning notifications of who was hiring in those areas, what were the job opportunities that were open, and then the companies. And then I will, me on my end, and I will go on LinkedIn, network with some of those recruiters, find out, make connections, and then find out more status about the specific roles, and then be able to make those introductions and connect the job seeker directly to it. But it all helped that I was getting those job alerts and notified when those specific companies were actually hiring, so that it maximized awareness, and we were actually getting getting to the job application as an early applicant. It's crucial. And so we were doing that a lot. So I encourage you to go back and try to do that a little bit more, so that you can and utilize these tools, because they actually do help. But again, always vet the companies by making sure that you check them out on LinkedIn, that they are legit, and or go straight to a different tab and then search them directly. And if there's anything that I can do or we can do here, you can also send us an email and say, hey, do you know anyone in Sigma? Do you know anyone at Humana Health? Or are you guys connected to this particular company? Chances are we are, and we can certainly try to navigate and flag a specific point of contact. It may not guarantee the job, but it certainly will be able to search and allocate to get a referral on your behalf, and to get those communities a little more aware of that we are actually finding their jobs, and we are sharing some of the jobs with you guys. So I hope that you found this very helpful. Again, I'm not going to go too much here. This is live, but I don't want to go too far up with this. If you found it helpful, please again post your comments. We'll go back and then search a little bit further later on and share more tips with you. We have some more stuff that is coming up, and we're actually trying to change traffic to our digital community. So if you're listening to this right now, thank you so much for supporting. Try to get back into our digital community. We actually have a discussion forum going on over there on LinkedIn and LinkedIn tools. What's working for you? What has worked for you? How do you network with a purpose? So if you can head over to our LinkedIn, to our digital community and find a discussion thread out there, let us know, share some tools. There's a lot, believe it or not, there's a lot of community members that are not on social media, that are not on Facebook. And so the only way that we'll actually know about some of these credible resources that maybe they're not being exposed is by getting them access through our digital community. So if you can kindly go over to our digital community and share some of your best tips and practices on LinkedIn, that would be great. So I'll share the link in the bottom. Go to our digital community and yeah, find the discussion thread and then post in there your best practices. How do you network with a purpose on LinkedIn? 85% of job, when they actually get filled, they get filled by networking. So when you know someone who knows someone, that's usually the way to get to know, to get into a job. And that's really what we try to advocate here through Blue Star Careers and through all those particular sessions that we do, is by making sure that we're making those introductions straight to the point of contact, and that you become a little more aware how to get in. So what are some of those best practices, and equip yourself with the best resources. So I hope that you found this useful. If you rewatch the particular segment here, please be sure that you hit or comment hashtag replay so that we know that you watched it later. And then once again, go to our digital community and share your best tips on LinkedIn. What are you doing to grow your network? And then yeah, continue to watch and tell us how we can best support you. Tomorrow we have a career-a-thon. We're working on scouting some of the best, top, most recent job opportunities that are actually open. Now, again, I encourage you to really get ready and try to apply, be an early applicant. Right now, the market is extremely tight, and most jobs, once they get posted, it can pull anything from 100 to 200 applications within 48 hours. So it's really hard sometimes to send a referral when a job has already been closed, or it's already been maximized already the jobs or the job applicants, because there's an overflow of applications, and then it takes a lot longer for the companies to be able to review them. So sometimes they welcome our referrals, but then they don't. So we're trying to be very tactful to not share jobs that we know for sure we're not going to be able to send a referral, or we're not going to be able to get a feedback. So sometimes less is best. And so that's also how you can remember with your resume. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later today. Please tag or email. We're here to support you. Thank you.